This morning, a historic strike is in motion. Union workers are on the picket lines of all three major automakers in the U.S. This hasn't happened before. 146,000 workers will take part in targeted strikes after negotiations broke down with GM, Ford, and Stellantis. It's happening as the union representing 19,000 Canadian auto workers is negotiating with Ford. And the Unifor contracts with those same three major car manufacturers expire this month. So for a closer look at what the U.S. historic strike means here in Canada, Lana Payne is the national president of Unifor, and she's our guest in studio this morning. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Great to be here.
First of all, let's start with negotiations. How are they going?
Slow. Our deadline. They're happening, yeah, and they will continue to happen through the weekend. We're negotiating currently with Ford Motor Company. We targeted them to set our pattern agreement, and our contract expires on Monday at 11:59 p.m.
All right, time is ticking. In the U.S., workers there asking for a 40% increase. The companies came back with 20%. That was rejected. Can you give me some context around those numbers?
For us, I mean, obviously we have our own demands. We have our own priorities in Canada. Wages are, of course, some of those priorities. But you consider we're going through a massive transition in the auto industry right now. So what happens during that transition and how we protect our members is a priority too. But pensions are our number one issue, and we're spending a lot of time at the table talking about pensions right now. But we've had two offers from Ford Motor Company, and we've rejected both of them. So that's a signal that we're just not there yet.
And I'm just confirming the negotiations will continue to happen throughout the weekend?
Absolutely.
All right, I want to show you, these are live shots coming in from Detroit. This strike happened just after midnight. Workers walked off the jobs immediately on the picket lines. What's your reaction when you see, fellow auto workers who are on strike? And how could this U.S. strike ongoing right now affect your negotiations?
Yeah, well, all kinds of solidarity with these folks right now because they're doing something very important. They're standing up for a strong collective agreement, which is what we're doing at a bargaining table. The reality is that the auto industry in Canada and the U.S. is very integrated. So depending on how these strikes evolve, it could have an impact on our workplaces in Canada. We may end up with having closures in facilities in Canada as a result of that.
What have you heard from your members about their wages in a time of a high cost of living?
Yeah, this is an issue for auto workers, but it's an issue for workers everywhere. Unifor is seeing this at every single collective bargaining table right now. We just had a big dispute, obviously, with grocery store workers on a picket line for almost 5 weeks. So it is the major issue in collective bargaining everywhere.
You mentioned that two offers have come forward. Both of those were rejected. What was the main sticking point?
Well, our priorities, again, are pensions, wages, EV transitions, and what happens with investments in the future. And obviously, they were rejected because those four issues were not dealt with in terms of the offer that we had from Ford Motor Company. So we're going to stick at it because I feel confident in our team and that we'll get there, and we'll see how that unfolds by Monday. I
believe that you will stick at it. You said you're going to work through the weekend. What happens on Monday if a deal isn't reached?
We'll see what happens when Monday comes, and we'll have to watch what's occurring south of the border as well, because, as I said, that'll have an impact on our situation in Canada too.
Lana Payne, best of luck in your negotiations through the weekend. It's going to be a long one for you.
Thanks.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.